So I'm having a little trouble uploading videos, and I wanted to do an informational video on these beautiful black Lemurians before I showed the pieces, and do it separately. So for people who don't really want to listen to me talk, we can get right down to business. So I'm going to try this again, and hopefully it works. I wanted to first show a little bit of background of my connection to these. There has been some beautiful work done already with these and published, but let me show you just this card, because this is a card from a deck, a digital version, because all my decks are packed up right now. But this was really meaningful to me when we started working with these Lemurians. Jen at Soul of Lemuria had a precognitive dream about these Lemurians, and it came to pass just within a couple of weeks. And she has a wonderful read on these. She's a very clear channel, and her information is fantastic. It's already out there. No need to reinvent the wheel there. My take, I'm going to go into this in more depth when I do a full-blown live. I have the other half of this group, and I'm just not ready to do a full-blown live right now. This is a special showing of 18 pieces, and once the requester has chosen her pieces, then the rest of these will be made available. I've had so many requests. But years ago, I had a healing practice for 18 years, and as part of my practice, of course, I got work, and every week we would do a nice trade. And I had an incredible Pele experience many years ago. And my experience with Pele was quite different than the typical lore that you would expect. And then I came across this deck at the same time, of course, because it was total serendipity and magic. And this card, Compassionate Pele, was just the embodiment of everything I was seeing and living around Pele. And these crystals are deeply connected to Pele. And so I just wanted to share this a little bit. And like I say, we'll go into this more detail at another time. But Jen had mentioned these are the Ohea flowers. And a lot of these do have beautiful red flowers in them. They're more easily seen when they are wet, but that is part of Pele's, the associations with Pele. This particular card, this deck is by Francine Hart, and I love the heart and the golden mean spiral going on here. And her take on this card is really the embodiment for me of these crystals. So let me just flip this a minute and give you a few things. Pele is the passionate volcano goddess of Hawaii. Traditionally, she's depicted as powerful, yet selfish and contrary, or even vengeful. This card's alternative description comes from shared visions relating to her passionate/compassionate side. She is, as we are, maturing and becoming more loving and compassionate. Compassion is not passive. It is actively opening the heart through the awareness of interdependence of all things, including other creatures, nature, and the inanimate world. The last line in this, I don't need to just read this to you, but the last line is a really beautiful synopsis for these crystals. It says, "Know that your every thought, word, and action has an effect on the whole and touches the spirit of every other being." That really speaks to me also about these crystals because of the numerous different starberry languages that are on them. They're very inclusive and very balancing. Every one of these almost has Hydra star language on them. And this one, for example, this is Hydra. This is Hydra. And my first impression of this was the good eye, not the evil eye, the good eye, anyway, but very protective. Many of them have the double Hydra like that. And it just really felt very, very like a protective eye to me. And the other thing that really stands out about these crystals is that they do have a distinctly masculine feel. And masculine is a difficult word for me to use with these, but it's appropriate. It's, I just don't want to put them in a box. There's we all have associations with various words, and masculine is a word that evokes different meanings for different people. I could say they're more yang, but yang also evokes different meanings for different people. My first impression was that they were a very yang divine feminine, okay? That they were like another side. And that's how the compassionate Pele really resonated for me, because it's another side of the same being that's still always been there and is now resonating more. But as I worked with these crystals, their masculinity, for want of a better word, their divine masculine, that resonates more for me, to say their divine masculine aspects really started making things click for me. And my feeling with these is very much of a nurturing father type energy. They have a male energy that is strong and present and just divinely masculine and incredibly comforting and very, very protective. The balance that they offer, which is interesting because Hydra is, in particular, that particular star language is known for promoting balance and middle ground. And I thought that was fascinating that all of these almost all have Hydra, because they do appear to be a counterpart to the ancients and the very yin energy that the ancients have. These are a balancing yang energy, and they're balancers in every way, like for everything. They just are their strength is in that balance and that middle ground. And as I was cleaning and working with these, because it's been probably a year or more since we've had them, what came to me after the compassionate Pele was they're the nurturing father. They're as an archetype, that divine masculine. And part of my practice, I had a specialty working with families in the childbearing year, and part of my training was as a birth doula. And I read an article by Douglas Abrams called, I've just lost my train of thought. Father Nature, called Father Nature. And it was all about the hormones of bonding for men. Because men who actually live with their pregnant partner and are participants in the birth and are fortunate enough to put that naked baby on their bare skin when the baby is born as part of the bonding process, that provokes a lot of hormonal activity for them. And so it's like it's grace. You fall in love with this baby, you can't help it because your hormones are there, and it's very transformational. And these crystals are also all about transformation. So the hormones are like a divine grace that somebody who normally might not have had it in him to be tied down, to a family or whatever, that magic starts happening and you just can't break that bond. It's a beautiful, beautiful bond. And so that really related to me with these crystals. They're very touchy-feely. The Starberry is incredibly deep. They love to be in your hand. They love to be on your body, and your body loves them back. They're just so comforting and so protective and just so lovely and stable and nurturing. So from that article, the other thing that popped into my head was a quote that when he was talking about the different hormones, men have a higher level of testosterone than women, and there is another hormone produced called vasopressin. And it's kind of a balancer to testosterone. And the way he phrased it was testosterone wants to prowl and vasopressin wants to stay at home. And so you have this whole hormonal cocktail that creates, you have prolactin, which in a mother is going to help her produce milk, and in a father is going to help him produce nurturing behaviors. And then you have vasopressin that just wants to be home, and all of these lovely, lovely male aspects of the bonding process. And these crystals really spoke to me of that. They really spoke to me of the sacredness of the male energy in the family, in the community, in the whole balance of the universe. And so anyway, that's my take to date, and not everything, but that's my take in a nutshell. And I just wanted to offer that because, like I say, there is already wonderful information out on these, very extensive, and probably Jen will be writing a blog soon because they certainly deserve that. And I think that is probably all I'm gonna, oh no, I wanted to touch just a little bit. I want to keep this to 15 minutes in case I need to put it up on Instagram if I can't get it to upload. But I did want to touch a little bit on the color and structure of these. These are, when you look at them, it's very easy to call these Morion. A Morion is, many people call Morion a very dark smoky. A Morion technically will not pass light. Now, these are citrine with Morion phantoms. So when you do hit them with strong light, most of them will pass light here and there. And the citrine is a beautiful caramel. But the phantoms are a deep, deep chocolate Morion. In some places they do not pass light. But like I say, Morion has become a term for a dark smoky. Technically speaking, a Morion does not pass light. At least that's in my research, that's what I have found. I just lost my train of thought again, just a second. I'm looking at the clock and I don't want to run past 15 minutes. Oh, these are natural. They are natural citrine and natural smoky. Typically when you see a very dark smoky, in particular a black smoky, it has been irradiated, not heated, irradiated. It's the same type of machine that they run our produce through. And you can take a clear crystal or a very light smoky crystal and run it through that machine, and it will come out black. So be aware if you ever see a dark smoky, especially if it's inexpensive, it's probably been irradiated, and you don't want this crystal. It will require more healing. It is not a healing crystal. It requires healing. And it's a long, drawn-out process. So personally, I wouldn't invest. These are completely natural. They are not heated. They are not irradiated. These are just like they come out of the earth. And they are exquisitely beautiful with lovely, lovely energy.